ask few doubts. I'll take few doubts. I have already starting taking few doubts. Mic तो on है. अच्छा, अब on है. ठीक है. Fine. Am I audible? Not audible? Volume? अब तो बोला ही नहीं. Telepathy. Am I audible? Am I audible? No? छेड़ रहे हो? कभी हाँ कभी ना. Am I audible? I will trust you. Am I audible? Okay, fine. कोई तो एंकर चाहिए, कोई तो ट्रस्ट चाहिए. Moving on. Firstly, confusion जो है, एक confusion है कि क्या पढ़ें, what to read, how should I consolidate. So I told you to read 6th to 10th. Some of you might have read it, some of you would start off. Even if you have read it, एक बार फिर से पढ़ लो. The topic that I am taking, the sequence that I am following is class 11th NCERT. This is the sequence that I am following. It starts off, the first topic is about class 11th NCERT. The first topic, the fundamentals of physical geography. Class 11th NCERT has 2 NCERT. I am following this NCERT. The first chapter is about geography as a discipline. Geography hai kya? What is geography? So we understood what is geography. Geography is not one subject. It has taken some materials from the other subject. It has taken the matter from other subject, and it is an approach. What is where, why, and so what. It is about interlinkages. It is about studying the earth as a home of the man. So what is geography? What are these various sub-fields, sub-units under the unit of geography? That is your first chapter. This chart. What is geography? Physical geography, climate geography. This is the first chapter. In the first chapter, this is just to give you an overview of things. For your, suppose, be empathetic. Let's go into class 11th. Class 11th ke liye kitab hai, right? So they are trying to open up the subject for the student. So that's just the first part. We also try to open up the subject in the first lecture, that what is actually geography, what is it all about. Why is it important for me to know geography? Because when I write mains answer, I cannot have a very tunnel based vision. I cannot have a very narrow vision. I need to broaden my vision. So that was the first thing. The second chapter is about the origin and the evolution of the earth. The origin of evolution of the origin of earth, the origin of universe, the formation of planets, the formation of stars, and then we go on. What about the solar system? What about the other planets? What is what about moon? What about Jupiter? The old planets. So the sequence that I'm following is class 11th NCERT. I said for any NCERT, class 6 to class 10th is quite basic. It is for 6th class students, 7th class students, very basic. 11th becomes your specialization. So the level increases here. Okay, the level is basic here, the level increases there. The sequence I'm following is this. So what I expect you to do is go back home, read the class notes, open up the chapter from the NCERT, read the chapter from NCERT, 2-3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages, max to max would be covered. Read those 5 pages, and along with other thing, this is your geography consolidation. So geography class ka consolidation is like you read the class notes, you read the NCERT, right? Then take a slot for your own preparation for your GS. When I say you have to divide, if I would be in your place, I would probably divide my day into 3 to 4 sections. One section, my optional. I am reading my optional, I'm consolidating my optional. Okay, I'm reading my optional, consolidating my optional, whatever is the optional reading. Second section, I am doing my GS class, I'm consolidating my GS class. Consolidation of GS class means revising the class notes and start reading the 5-6 pages of class 11th NCERT. Then third section of your day, you can have some current affair bits of reading, whatever is being told to you, the current affair section. The fourth section that I'm trying to tell you is start off your own section. That's your section, that's your preparation. Why? Because now you have time. When you say you have to start off, when you have to start off something, GS, you are starting. Optional wala section is done. Optional ka revision, optional ka consolidation. You are in safe hands there, so I will not go there. For your own preparation, you can start off with GS. When I say GS, start off with any subject. You can start off with history, you can start off with polity, you can start off with geography. When you are starting off right now, जो class में चल रहा है उसी subject को ले लो. The subject that is going on in the class, take it. That will be more easy for you. You will complete that. So as ma'am says, you can read Lakshmikant. So you are doing whatever ma'am has told in the consolidation. What I have told is and the consolidation. And when you are reading Lakshmikant, or let's say you are reading NCERT, ये तो consolidation के साथ ही हो रही है. Class 11th is going on along with the consolidation. Start off with this 4 times in a day. When you have geography class, start off with this. Read 6th, read 7th, read 8th. If you do that, I believe in 15 to 20 days, these NCERT can be completed. Even if you read 4 times a day. Be very fair. 6th is actually 5 to 6 hours of work. Nothing much. It's a very small NCERT. So you can complete it for your own section in 2 days. Even if you give 2.5 hours for your own studies. So try to have that target in mind that probably in 10 days, I would have completed 6th to 10th NCERT. I am doing 4 times in a week because that's my geography reading, my own reading. And when I have polity classes, I'm reading polity I'm doing polity consolidation. Along with polity consolidation, I'm reading something extra for the polity. So you should divide your day like that. Some current affairs section, you have your optional section, you have your GS classes and section, and 1 hour, 2 hour, your own section. That wherein you are trying to not wait for the classes to get over, but you are trying to read it on your own. And when you read it, that subject, not many interlinkages can be established. So reading on your own help you establish the interlinkages between the things. It's all about developing the analytical skill, using the facts and developing the analytical skill both for prelims as well as your mains paper, right? So this is what I wanted to actually convey. Ki how am I going? I am following the sequence of class 11th NCERT. What you should do, what you should read. So by class, why am I not recommending any other book for apart from NCERT? There are 2 reasons. One reason is, like you have Lakshmikant for polity, you do not have any as such book for geography. Can you tell me, does anybody know कि कोई book है जैसे famous है Lakshmikant for polity? What do you have? Probably you would have GC Leong. GC Leong. What is the problem with GC Leong is when I actually look at GC Leong, first 2-3 chapters are different. They are different. Only first 2-3 chapters, latitude, longitude, and some 2-3 chapters are different, and then it starts your landforms. Landform by river, landform by glaciers, landform by desert, landform by other factors. So half of your GC Leong is, there are part A and part B. Part A is the physical part, part B is the environment part, biomes part. The equatorial forest vegetation, tropical grasslands, temperate grassland, China type, Laurentian type of climate. ये सब climate दिए हैं. That is part B. Part A, maybe even if you look at the index, only 3 to 4 chapters, initial 2 chapters I would say, not even 3. First 2 chapters are different. From chapter 3, they start off with landform. So landform is covered in this NCERT also. And if I actually ask you how many questions have come from landform in prelims, 1 question. So I do half of the GC Leong for 1 question, and that too in prelims, mains mein nahi puche. That's the idea. So when you say compared to GC Leong, I would prefer this, at least for part A. For part B, which is the biome part, which is the environment part, that is where GC Leong is winning over NCERT. So part A mein half of your GC Leong is landforms, landform by river, glaciers, lakes, your underground water, the wind. There have not been much questions, and even when you read GC Leong, the problem is lot of examples they have given from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, Singapore, because book wahan pe the book has been written there. So they are giving examples from there. We cannot relate it. Firstly, we don't understand the names. Even if we understand the names, we cannot relate it. So I would rather say that when landform will come, we will do landforms in 2 to 3 classes. Because I don't want to give 5 classes for landforms because the question is not asked. But should I leave the topic? I will not leave the topic. Why? Because it is there a part of your syllabus. I will not leave that topic. But what focus should I give? What disproportionate focus should I give or I should not give? Yesterday also I was emphasizing on the same fact. Curiosity is good. Some of you said, I will not be able to sleep if I do not address these doubts, if I do not clear all my doubts. नींद नहीं आएगी, ठीक है. So curiosity is good unless and until curiosity kills the cat. So let your curiosity not kill you. Let your please read the examination. Read the examination and direct your studies towards the examination. Not to say that you should not have a questioning mind. You should have a questioning mind, but we need to have an attitude that benefits me. I need to have that attitude. Padho, curious raho, but then please know the examination also, because that way you will be focused. What is the, should I be curious and digress my preparation, or should I be focused and have a bit of curiosity? I believe the second approach is better, because that will take you towards your goal. Uske baad karna, once you qualify examination, do people go for post graduations from our universities that are international universities. We have seen people, IPS officers doing MA in criminology from universities, international universities. There's no harm there. But first, let's understand the examination. Let's qualify the examination. Right? That is the idea. So, how am I going and what you should do? How should you organize your day? That's the idea of what we have discussed so far. Now, yes. One question, that was how nebula hypothesis can help me understand the density stratification. See, understand, you have a nebula. The nebula has dust. The nebula has gases. The nebula have rocks. You have dust, you have debris, you have rocks, you have metallic compounds. This is all there in nebula. This nebula is very big. It is cooling and it is contracting. It is cooling and contracting. Even if it is free fall, somebody asked me that yesterday. Even if it is free fall means gravity is acting on it. Then also, what actually happens is your nebula is cooling. It is contracting. Everywhere your gravity is acting. The gravitational pull is acting. Now, it is always seen that the heavier thing falls first. Even under free fall, it is the heavier thing that falls first. Register and paper, the register would fall first, right? So even if it is a free fall or gravity act kar rahi hai, the thing that is more heavier would fall first. So what will happen is, this is heavier. What is heavier? If this is gas, you have dust, you have gas, you have dust, you have lighter minerals, you have lighter rocks, you have heavier rocks. When it is cooling and contracting, what falls first, what falls inside is the heavier object, the heavier one, okay, the heavier minerals, the heavier elements, the heavier compounds. Then somewhat lighter elements, somewhat lighter minerals, somewhat lighter compounds, okay, that will fall second. The third that falls is further lighter minerals, further lighter compounds, further lighter elements. Okay, so this becomes what? Your interior of the earth. As you move in the earth, the radius of the earth is about 6,370. I will, for convenience, say 6,400 kilometers. So this is the interior of the earth. The radius of the earth is 6,400 kilometers. What is in the interior? The heavier particle, the heavier elements. What is in the further layer? Somewhat lighter particles. Somewhat lighter particles. What is in the first layer? Further lighter particles. How do I layer this? How do I mention the earth? I have mentioned for my knowledge so far. We have crust, mantle and core. Is the knowledge of interior of the earth complete? No. There are still studies going on about the elements. There are still studies going on about the minerals that are being found in the earth's interior. This is 6,400 kilometers. The knowledge that I have so far is, if I talk about, if I drill it, even if I drill it and I try to gain knowledge, the largest drill is about 13 to 18 kilometers. I have not even yet touched the entire crust. So I cannot know about the interior of the earth just by drilling. So what is density stratification? Density stratification means density wise stratas banna. The stratas are being formed on the basis of the density. As we go in the interior, the density would increase. Is it clear? So this is what was the, how is nebula hypothesis explaining the density stratification. Yes.
We use the term free fall, but there is no gravity to begin with in space. So wouldn't it be better to say that the object with the greater mass is just attracting the others around?
That's the phenomena. But then somebody asked me free fall, so I said that.
But free fall doesn't even exist.
Yeah, it does not exist. But then what is free fall is something just is gravity is acting on it. That is a free fall, right?
Gravity itself is created by the density.
There is some pull. There is definitely a pull. There is a gravitational collapse that is happening. So gravity is there. When you start off in the Big Bang, there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was no fabric of space. There was no matter. The Big Bang happened. Then formed your photons, neutrons, matter, and along with it, your physics fundamental forces start coming into play.
So, like after the creation of the fabric of space, right? We are talking about how the nebula comes to be. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Dense matter that explodes eventually comes to be.
Right.
After the
Right.
cooling and contraction.
Yes.
The cooling and contraction is basically
Not after the cooling on track. After the explosion. After the explosion.
Okay.
After the explosion, nebula starts coming into play.
the remaining substance after the explosion. How does that come to be?
How does after the explosion, what is there? After the explosion, nebula is there. What is nebula? The cloud. What happens is this cloud start contracting, cooling. Why does it?
Form something.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Form something else, maybe or maybe not.
Yes. Correct.
Depending on the substance and the density that it has.
Yes. Correct.
I'm just clarifying because I don't want to write something wrong, right? So I
Don't write free fall.
yeah,
Okay.
don't write.
That's it. Okay. Fine. Tell me.
Is the same process that we refer to as differentiation?
Yes, the other word for density stratification is differentiation. There is your question given in the NCERT. The process differentiation relates to what? A, B, C, D, and one of them was the formation of the lithosphere, the formation of the Earth's interior, not atmosphere, the interior. हर planet के लिए true, even meteors के लिए true.
As the celestial body of you, dense would
Yes.
be its
Yes, correct.
Even true for the sun.
Yes, definitely. Even true for the sun. For everybody, for even your meteors, this happens. Okay. So today the discussion that I am doing is, we have started off with the formation of universe, formation of the planet, formation of the solar system, and also the formation of the sun. The same thing, the same process. Formation of the sun, the formation of the star, formation of the solar system. We will today move to understand some terms of the solar system. So it's an easy day today. We are just understanding the terms. Many of you would know many terms. If you have started reading class 6th NCERT, so you would know what is asteroid, what is meteoroid, what is meteor, okay? What is comet, what is a planet, what is a dwarf planet, why is Pluto considered to be a dwarf planet and not a planet. Some of you would know. Some of you would not know. So those who don't know, don't worry. We'll try to consolidate today and we'll try to pick up what has to be done. So please write. बताए. Condensation of nebula. Fusion means what? The lighter elements combining together to make a heavier elements. What is something?
What is the thing? Particle.
Hydrogen and helium initial होते हैं. सबसे पहले hydrogen and helium, the basic elements. When you talk of any elements, the first element is hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen and helium, they combine together, they will form the heavier elements. That is your nuclear fusion. In this process, you emit heat, and in this process, you emit light. Right? Okay. Please write about some terms. What did we ended on? ठीक है. Origin of the solar system and the nebular hypothesis. That's what I said. They are not important. Sirf nebula hypothesis is important. Planetesimal is not important. Tidal theory is not important. But just know the name. Why should I know the name when they are not important? Why? Because if you look at the previous year question, one question that they had asked, the term event horizon, comma singularity relates to what? This was asked in 2017. The question was, there were 2-3 terms given. The terms like event horizon, The term like a singularity refers to what? Refers to what? And they had given option 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the option was formation of universe. The formation of the universe. Now, even if you know this term, singularity, you know, Big Bang, singularity, and rest of the options were not even close. They were not even close to this. So, even if you know the terms, that will help you in answering some of the questions. This is the pattern of UPSC prelims. They give terms and they tell you to see the right option. If I can quote medieval history, they asked what is Banjara. They asked, if I quote geography, in the last year paper, they asked there are certain Kuchaman, Sargol, Khatu, Didwana. What are these? And the options they give: saline lake, mangrove, Ramsar site, etc. So what are they doing is they are focusing on terms, and the options that they are giving is not even close. It's not very close by. Even if you know some idea, you can mark the right option. So this is why you should know certain terms. Should I go into deep depth? Not needed, right? We have to cover lot in geography. Kafi kuch hai. 50 classes, 45, 49 classes. You have to cover human geography. You have to cover population geography. Jo socha bhi nahi hoga geography hai, that is geography. So we'll have to cover that. So let's not go deeper, which is not needed. Certain terms, give the heading terms of the solar system. Terms, certain important terms. Okay. So I'll start off with basics. The first one, let me just see if we have this here. Yeah, we've done the formation of universe, Big Bang, the formation of star, the formation of planet. This is what is the first one. Please write constellation. Right? Constellation. The constellation. What is constellation? Group of stars. What is constellation? Group of stars. Group of stars. Any group of stars that can have a particular shape. Obviously, when group hai to particular shape aa jayega. Group of stars is called as constellation. Example: Great Bear, Saptarishi, Great Bear. You have Scorpio, आपकी signs, the sun shines and the other things. Scorpio. You have Cassiopeia, Cassiopeia, Cassiopeia. Okay, the group of stars. Then write about solar system, and the planets. One was constellation, the second was the solar system and the planets. Solar system and the planets. How many planets do we have? There are 8 planets. What are those? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Likho solar system mein. Right? 8 planets. 8 planets. MVEM, you know the MVEM, JSUN. Okay, MVEM, JSUN. Then write the first four, that is MVEM, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. They are called as terrestrial planet. They are called as terrestrial planet, comma, inner planet. Terrestrial planet, comma, inner planet. Inner planet. Why inner planet? Write in bracket. They are found between sun and asteroid belt. Between the sun and the asteroid belt. Okay, asteroid. AESTEROID, asteroid belt. They are also called as Earth-like planet. They are also called as Earth-like planet. that is, they are called as Earth-like planet, that is made up of, they are made up of rock and metals, rocks and metals. They are made up of rocks and metals and have relatively high density Okay, so let's write about some of these planets. Let's write something about Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. I am referring to solar system, I am referring to planets, I am referring to the first 4 planets. I said the first 4 planets are terrestrial planets, the first 4 planets are Earth-like planets, they are called as inner planet. ये किसके बीच में मिलते हैं? Between the sun and the asteroid belt. Between the sun and the asteroid belt. So first slide about Mercury. Density. Terrestrial because solid है, rock है. Terrestrial means rocky. Yeah, these are gases. You never know, they will. अभी तक नहीं किया है. If you would know that there is, moon is actually moving away from Earth because gravity of the other planets is acting on the moon. So they will collide over the time.
Can we see that sun is having a higher density and the surrounding stars having, like, जो दूर है उनकी density कम होती जा रही है and the closest उनकी density भी ज्यादा है.
You are talking about star, you are talking about planets. No, you cannot make a one-to-one correlation that the planet, the density is, there are variations in the density. How much the mass was attracted by the gravitational pull, that is acting. Okay, so we are talking about Mercury. Write about Mercury. Mercury, give the heading Mercury, right? It is the smallest planet. It is smallest planet. सबसे छोटा है, smallest planet, only slightly larger than, comma, only slightly larger than Earth's moon. Earth's moon. Next point. Despite being closest to sun, despite being closest to sun, it is not hottest. It is not the hottest. Why? Why does this happen? I'll just give you a rough idea. You need not write, just understand for now. We will deal with this while we are dealing with the climate. See, when we talk about a surface, the surface is surrounded by a blanket of the gases. Any surface, even the earth, is surrounded by the blanket of the gases.
That the ozone layer is protected.
सभी धीरे 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 आराम से, ठीक है? पहले एटमॉस्फेयर समझते हैं, फिर ओजोन समझेंगे, फिर ट्रोपोस्फेयर समझेंगे. रुको, अभी सिर्फ इतना समझो. देयर इज अ सरफेस, देयर इज अ गैस. द गैसेस आर देयर अबव द surface. In the gases, you can have various gases. You can have, let's say, you can have hydrogen, you can have helium, you can have carbon dioxide, you can have methane, you can have nitrous oxides. Okay, there can be many gases. Now, what warms a planet depends on what is the composition of the gases. If the composition of the gases is about, let's say, carbon dioxide, let's say methane, these gases are called as greenhouse gases. They are playing an important role in the warming of the planet. Okay, so here what is happening is, if I talk about Mercury, despite being closest to sun, it does not have majority of the greenhouse gases. The composition of the atmosphere of Mercury does not have majority of the greenhouse gases. In contrast to this, after Mercury, what do we have? We have Venus. This has lot of greenhouse gases. So this becomes the hottest, and this does not become the hottest. Okay, so please write that Mercury has thin atmosphere. Mercury has thin atmosphere. Mercury has thin atmosphere. and is composed of oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium. Oxygen, sodium, potassium, hydrogen, helium. Hydrogen and helium. Oxygen, potassium, sodium, hydrogen, helium. Is it fine? So this is, and it is a very thin atmosphere. Not only the gases, but what is the layer? What is the thickness of the layer? Is the atmosphere thick or is the atmosphere thin? That also determines the warming. So Mars has carbon dioxide, but Mars is cool. Why? Because it is very thin. The atmosphere is very, very thin. So the layer is not as much thick. But despite having carbon dioxide, Mars is very cool. Please write about the next planet. The next planet, Venus. Venus. First we wrote about Mercury. Then I am moving towards Venus. Write about Venus. First point. It is similar to Earth. It is similar to Earth with respect to the size and the density. The size and the density. Therefore called as Earth's twin. Earth's twin. Therefore called as Earth's twin. Judwa bhai. Behan bhi. Whatever you think. Yes.
How is the breadth of the atmosphere determines the acting electronic?
Because if let's say he's asking me a question that how is the thickness of the atmosphere determining? Okay. If I compare two things. Here, let's say you have CO2. You have CO2. You have CO2. You have NOx. This is very, very thick. So what will this happen? You will have more amount of CO2, greater amount of CO2. This is very thin. Even if it is, let's say, even if it is 100% CO2, this is thin, no? Even if it is, let's say, 70% CO2, which of them have more CO2? The case A, because it is thick. This is the case B. Even if it is 100% of CO2, will be less CO2. That is why that will determine the heating. That will determine the temperature. Is it fine? Because surface heating can escape. It can escape, right? It is the atmosphere that traps the heat. Had it not been atmosphere, the earth would not be as heated. We would not probably have life. So it is not the surface. The surface heating can get escaped. It is atmosphere that traps the heat, re-radiates it. Again there is radiation, again re-radiation, again radiation, again radiate. And finally there is some escape to the space. Okay. So please write about Venus.
It comes under the closest vicinity of the Earth. So what about the solar winds? I don't think it can lead to the depletion of the environment.
Wait for it. Wait for solar wind. Wait for the effect on the atmosphere. Wait for it. Wait for solar winds and the effect on the atmosphere. Composition पढ़ेंगे atmosphere का. Thickness depends on the density. Thickness depends on the proximity to the sun. Thickness depends on many other factors. It is not simply about how far it is near to the sun. It is also depend how far is the gravity of the earth or the planet. If there is more gravity, they will have more of the gases. If it has less gravity, it cannot hold the escaping gases. Right? Okay. Write about Mercury. Then write about Venus. We said Venus is similar to Earth's density and size, therefore called as Earth's twin. Write the next point in Venus. Likha ye point, Earth's twin. Write about the next point. It is also called Venus. Venus is also called morning star and the evening star. Morning star and the evening star. Okay, third one. अरे देखेंगे, सारे देखेंगे, प्रीलिम्स में बहुत क्वेश्चंस आए. If you want to see that, 1 second, I have done my homework really well. ठीक है, this is the question, one question 2022. This is question number 2011, 2012, 2013, 19, 22. ठीक है, इसमें एक मिसिंग है 2017 वाला. It's for your it's for you to see. You never know, टेस्ट में आ जाए. ठीक है, so you should do some homework, right? Moving on, we are talking about the solar system, we are talking about Mercury, Venus, then we are talking about Earth के बारे में बाद में देखेंगे. Let's talk about Mars. Venus का, Venus, okay, third point. Venus is, it is the closest planetary neighbor. It is the closest planetary neighbor of Earth. It is the closest planetary neighbor of Earth. Okay, then we have Earth. We will not write much, we'll write it later. Write about Mars, this planet, Mars. Okay, it is similar to Earth. Mars is similar to Earth with respect to rotation, with respect to the rotation, the tilt, 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 and season, Mars की बात कर रहे हैं. First point, it is similar to Earth with respect to rotation, the tilt and the seasons, rotation and tilt. Rotation यानी घूमना, tilt यानी the tilted axis, and the seasons, जो season होते हैं, we have seasons. Similarly, there are seasons there also. 25 degree. The tilt of Mars is 25 degree. The tilt of Earth is 23.5. Okay, degree. So it is similar to the Earth, right? Atmosphere on Mars, the atmosphere on Mars is thinner. Therefore, despite having 95%, of carbon dioxide, Mars is cool. Okay, so this was the inner planet. The inner planet, Mercury, Venus, Earth we'll see later, and Mars. Please write about the other planet, Jovian planet. Write the term Jovian planet. Jovian, Jovian planet. Jovian, Jovian planets. Pehle terrestrial planets we had seen 4. Now we will see the rest 4. That is Jovian planet. These are what? These are Jupiter-like. They are Jupiter-like. Heading they the Jovian planet. They are Jupiter-like. And what are they? They are gaseous planet. They are the gaseous planet. अलग अलग है सब में, मेजरली हाइड्रोजन और हीलियम. ठीक है, सो यू हैव MVEM, you have asteroid belt, you have JSUN. This JSUN are Jupiter like, J, S, U, N. They are also called as outer planet. They are also called as outer planet. Jovian planet के लिए लिखा 4 points. Okay, write one more point here. They are bigger in size. They are bigger in size than the terrestrial planet. Then the terrestrial planet. When I talk about the gaseous planet, you can write majorly they have hydrogen and helium. Majorly hydrogen and helium. Okay? Is it fine? So we are moving towards understanding the Jovian planet. है बट वो अभी भी नेबुला स्टेज में ना डस्ट डेब्रिस हाइड्रोजन हीलियम अभी भी वो अभी नेबुला स्टेज में ही है, अभी तक पूरी तरीके से सॉलिडिफिकेशन नहीं हुआ. राइट, मूविंग ऑन. We will understand this topic in detail about what I am moving towards. While you will read your class 11th NCERT, there is a topic that is given, evolution of atmosphere. Evolution of atmosphere is given. I am just briefly touching upon the topic. Why? Because when I will move towards climate, I will be telling you in detail about the atmosphere. But then, because you will be reading your NCERT, I am just touching the topic. You need not write, but listen to it. If I talk about the planets, Sun, M-O-V-E-M, J-S-U-N. You have asteroid belt. Now, if I look at the Earth's atmosphere, that's what your NCERT is saying. I'm not touching upon these atmosphere for now. I'm just talking about Earth's atmosphere. If I talk about Earth's atmosphere, what is the composition of Earth's atmosphere? We have, batao, we have 78% of nitrogen, then 21% of oxygen, then 0.93% of argon, then 0.03% of carbon dioxide, and then you have traces of hydrogen and helium, less than 0.1%. This is your atmosphere of the Earth. If I talk about the atmosphere of these planets, I said the major composition of is hydrogen and helium. Now, why is difference between the atmosphere of Earth and the atmosphere of the Jovian planet? It is related to the stages in the formation of the atmosphere. How was the atmosphere formed and modified? So what happened in the Earth's atmosphere? Here, initially, all of them, they have come from the same cloud, from the same nebula. So each of them should have hydrogen and helium. Why? Because I can presently say they are still in the nebula stage. Abhi tak they have not solidified. And if they have not yet solidified, they have hydrogen and helium. That means when the Earth was in the nebula stage, Earth had hydrogen and helium majorly. Now what happened? That from majority of hydrogen and helium, now we do not even have 0.1% of hydrogen and helium. So there were stages. What was the stages? The first stage was the first stage. I'm just helping you, you need not write it, just listen. The first stage was the stage where the solar wind was active. What is solar wind? The winds that are coming from the sun. Very powerful, strong solar flares, the powerful wind that is coming from the sun. So here, this is the sun. You have M-V-E-M, J-S-U-N. Okay. These powerful winds, they try to blow off light gases like hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen and helium are light gases, very powerful winds. They are trying to blow off the atmosphere here. In the what? In the inner planet. In the inner planet, they are trying to blow off the hydrogen and helium. So what happens is, because of the solar winds, what is there? You have the loss of hydrogen and helium. Chala gaya. Where did nitrogen come? Where did carbon dioxide come? Where did? The second stage was the Earth was cooling and contracting. The nebula was cooling and contracting. When the nebula was cooling and contracting, there was a stage where this led to the degassing. The gases from the interior came out. The gases from the interior came out. The major gases that came out were ammonia, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. The water vapor. So ammonia, carbon dioxide, water vapor is coming. This is the degassing stage. This explains that why does my atmosphere has water vapor? Why does my atmosphere has carbon dioxide? ठीक है, but nitrogen सबसे ज़्यादा है. CO2 is less, it's just 0.03, but you have nitrogen सबसे ज़्यादा. But this is degassing, which is telling me that how are various gases coming on the earth atmosphere, right? Then after this what happens is your water vapor plus carbon dioxide. See, this is your earth. There is release of the water vapor, there is release of the carbon dioxide, there is release of ammonia. Water vapor will rise up, warm gas rises up. What happens? As it rises, it cools. As it cools, it will start raining. It will condense, it will precipitate. Rain चालू हो जाएगी, यही होता है. Water vapor rises, it cools, it condenses, it falls down as rainfall. Rises, cools, falls down as rainfall. So what is happening is this water vapor is falling down after cooling. After cooling, it is falling down as rainfall. This rainfall dissolves what? Dissolves the carbon dioxide. So dissolution of the carbon dioxide and water vapor forms what? Your falls down on the surface of the earth, falls down on depressions on the earth, forming the oceans. Majority of the carbon dioxide is in the oceans and less of the carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere. ठीक है, आपको इसीलिए अभी बता रहे हैं क्योंकि आप एनसीईआरटी पढ़ेंगे. डिटेल में हम ये टॉपिक, वी विल डू दिस इन टॉपिक इन डिटेल व्हाइल वी आर गोइंग फॉर एटमॉस्फेयर अंडर क्लाइमेट. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड फॉर नाउ so that you are not lost while reading the NCERT. So this leads to formation of you have loss of hydrogen and helium, and you also has loss of carbon dioxide to oceans. The carbon dioxide becomes a part of the ocean and not majorly in the atmosphere. Now once the ocean is formed, water vapor is there, what will happen? Life will come. As life comes, what happens is the life cyanobacteria gives oxygen in the oceans. Once the ocean is saturated with the oxygen, once your ocean water has enough of the oxygen becomes a part of what? The oxygen becomes a part of the atmosphere, and therefore you have lot of oxygen. We have nearly about 21% of the oxygen. We have, I know, wait. अभी पहुंचे नहीं है पूरे स्टेज, अभी सिर्फ थर्ड स्टेज पे पहुंचे. द फर्स्ट स्टेज वाज द इफेक्ट ऑफ द सोलर विंड, द सेकंड स्टेज वाज द डीगैसिंग स्टेज, द थर्ड स्टेज वाज द इवेपोरेशन प्रेसिपिटेशन एंड द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ लाइफ एंड द रिलीज ऑफ द ऑक्सीजन. दैट वाज द थर्ड स्टेज. द फोर्थ स्टेज along with this only, third stage में there are many things that is going on. Yeah. So what is the first stage? The first stage is the first stage was solar winds, loss of hydrogen and helium. The second one was the loss of CO2. Why CO2? Because see, this is your earth's surface. There is a process, your water vapor rises. As the water vapor rises, it will cool. As it cool, it will lead to droplets, water droplets. This water droplets will dissolve what? CO2, right? Water droplet will dissolve the CO2. So water droplet and CO2 deposits where? Deposits in the depressions, forming what? This is water droplet plus CO2 deposits in the depression, forming the ocean. समझ आया? What is happening? There is degassing that is going on. Water vapor is coming. Water vapor is rising, cooling. It will fall down as rain. As it is falling down as rain, again it will evaporate because the earth surface is warm. Again it will rise, again it will cool, again it will fall, again it will rise, cool, again it will fall, again it will rise. So there is a cycle that is continuously going on. 97% of water is in the oceans. Why? Because of this. Are you getting the cycle? Evaporation, condensation cycle समझ आ रहा है? Dissolve हो जाएगा ना, जब water गिर रहा है, it will dissolve gas. It will dissolve carbon dioxide. Yes, due to rainfall, oceans formed. Correct. Panthalassa कब बना है? Panthalassa, we are talking Cretaceous time, no? Cretaceous time we are saying Panthalassa. I am still in the Archean time, formation of ocean and the continents. समझ आ रहा है? Why geological time scale अब समझ आ रहा है important क्यों है? Because formation of ocean and continent, we are talking in pre-Cambrian time, Archean time. तब बना है ocean and continents. आप Cretaceous पे पहुंच गए हो. ठीक है? The cycle of water vapor condensation, precipitation, condensation, precipitation, forming the oceans. Oceans came. Ocean will take majority of the carbon dioxide from the ocean. So this the third stage. The third stage was this was degassing plus the condensation and the ocean formation right? So you have loss of CO2. Then you have the third stage, the beginning of life in the oceans. कौन सा पीरियड है? आर्कियन पीरियड में ब्लू ग्रीन बैक्टीरिया, blue green algae forming. That is releasing photosynthesis, carbon dioxide, that happens. So beginning of the life, release of the oxygen. Oxygen ocean में भर गया, then oxygen becomes the part of the atmosphere. Once the ocean water is saturated with the oxygen becomes a part of the atmosphere. ठीक है? समझ आ रहा है क्या stages हो रही है? Degassing is volcanic eruption. Degassing is because of volcanic eruption. Because majority of the carbon dioxide becomes a part of your ocean. After that, oxygen comes. Once the oxygen is saturated in the ocean water, then it becomes the part of atmosphere. तो carbon dioxide पहले ही चला गया ocean में. Ocean में you are Hindi is comfortable, right? Carbon dioxide पहले ही चले गया ocean में. Ocean में अब आई life, अब आया oxygen. पहले ocean को भर दिया oxygen से. अब ocean बनेगा atmosphere का part. तो oxygen dissolve नहीं हुआ ना बारिश में. पहले तो oxygen था ही नहीं. पहले carbon dioxide ही था. ठीक है? Then, so the beginning of the life and the oxygen. समझ आया? Why do we have oxygen? Why do we have less of CO2? Why do we have less of hydrogen and helium? Coming up for nitrogen, that is about 78%. You don't forget this gas called as ammonia. The ammonia is now being splitted by the UV rays. Sun splits ammonia into nitrogen and hydrogen. Hydrogen is very light, again escapes. What builds up is nitrogen. Why is nitrogen building up? Because nitrogen is a very, very inert gas. It does not react as much, and therefore there is a build up of the, what I have to do? Did I open something? कुछ नहीं करे? ठीक है. And that gives me a bit of breathing time. So which side? Chinese side. Pegasus. नोट कहाँ गया? बंद करे? Okay, thank you. So there was this building up of nitrogen. So nitrogen becomes 78%. Oxygen becomes 21%. You have argon very minor amount. We have very minor amount of hydrogen and helium. This is in contrast to what is happening in the Jovian planet. Jovian planet still has hydrogen and helium. They are still in the nebula stage. So this is just to give you an idea about the evolution of atmosphere, because you will be reading from your NCERT. We will write this while we will be dealing with the atmosphere in the climate part. Can I move on? This is this one. The oxygen. This one. No, it is almost complete. So for millions of years, the atmosphere composition has not changed. It is complete. It is nitro. जितना आपका gases बना है उतना चला भी गया है. Now the process has stabilized over the time. We have lot of biogeochemical cycles. That is a very different case. Okay. Now you will at least appreciate the importance of biogeochemical cycles. What is biogeochemical cycle? What is the relation of carbon in the soil and the atmosphere? What is the relation of the nitrogen in the soil and the atmosphere? Now you will at least appreciate that. Fine. So what are we referring to? We were referring to the planets. We were understanding the planets. Where were we? We were at the Jovian planet. Why are they gaseous planet? Why are they majorly composed of hydrogen and helium? Please write about Jupiter. Jupiter. We are writing about the first one. Rotation. हाँ, बताते हैं. Jupiter. Write about Jupiter. All other means. जैसे कि कौन सी, मैं समझ नहीं पा रही हूँ. तो वो डीगैसिंग से आई है. इसके अलावा जो प्रोसेस है, जब डीगैसिंग हो रहा है, when volcanism happening, degassing is happening, you have many gases that are releasing. So they are the product of the degassing stage, right? Okay. Please write about Jupiter. Jupiter, largest planet in the solar system. Largest planet in the solar system. Largest. Planet. Largest planet कह रहे हैं. Largest star थोड़ी कह रहे हैं. Largest planet कह रहे हैं. Largest planet in the solar system. ठीक है. Right. Next point. Presently सबसे बड़ा planet है. Largest planet in the solar system. Planet कितने? 8. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. ठीक है. Of all the planet, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. Is it fine? Right. Next point. NASA. Presently NASA, National Aeronautical Space Agency. Presently NASA, apostrophe S, NASA's Juno orbiter. Juno, Juno, Juno orbiter. Presently NASA's Juno orbiter is exploring, is trying to study, is exploring the planet, is trying to explore the planet Jupiter. Juno mission. Okay, that is NASA's mission. बता रहे. ठीक है. So this was about your Jupiter. The Jupiter is not as dense. Obviously, Jovian planet है, gaseous planet है, they are not as dense. If I compare, the density of Jupiter is just 1.33. What is the density of Earth? It is 5.5. It is very less dense as compared to that of the Earth. Write about the next planet. अच्छा, इसमें Jupiter में एक लाइन और लिख लो. The atmosphere is composed of hydrogen and helium. The atmosphere is composed mostly of hydrogen and helium. Okay, Jupiter हो गया. Moving towards Saturn. Write about Saturn. 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 It is also a gas planet. It is also a gas planet. Gas planet. This is the second largest planet. Density is lesser than that of water. If I remember, if you have read NCERT, so NCERT mein there is a picture which shows that Saturn is floating on the water. Saturn is less dense, So it will float on the water. If by any chance we can bring Saturn and get it on the earth, then it can float on the water. That's the idea. Is it possible? You never know. Because size में बड़ा है does not mean कि उसका जो composition, so density is matter of what? Size and also the composition. The composition is what? Gas. It's entirely gas.
So at a point of time, whatever the size is due to the gravitational pull of that particular element.
Yes.
तो फिर उसने इतना pull कैसे करा?
अभी भी नेबुलर स्टेज में है ना वो तो बना ही नहीं है completely. All the gaseous planet they are still in the nebular stage.
फिर अगर इतना बना भी नहीं है, still it has something right dark and जो भी remaining part.
Yes, yes.
उसने इतना pull कैसे करा? It does not have that much gravitational.
हुआ होगा कुछ चीजें कुदरत पे छोड़ देते हैं. ठीक है. Yes, बताइए. Water पानी से भी कम है. The density is lesser than that of the water. Okay, if I quote, the density of water is 1. Density of Saturn is 0.6, 0.687, 0.6 or 0.7, whatever you say. Please write about Uranus. Please write about Uranus. Its atmosphere is also composed of hydrogen and helium. Atmosphere is equal to hydrogen and helium. Uranus rotates on its sides, 90-degree tilt hai. The tilt is 90 degree. So this is how, if this is your Uranus rotates on its sides, that is 90-degree tilt. The tilt is 90 degree. एक और पॉइंट लिखो फिर आई विल शो यू दी वीडियो. ठीक है. राइट अबाउट नेपट्यून. Neptune, it is a dark cold planet. Dark and the cold planet. It is not visible to the naked eye. It's very dark. It is 30 times far to the sun than Earth. So Earth का जो distance है उससे 30 गुना ज़्यादा is the distance of the Neptune. So Neptune is a very uninteresting planet. Why cold? Because it's very far away from the sun, right? Okay, so let's see this. Pluto planet नहीं है, ठीक है? हाँ, it's a dwarf planet. लिखाएंगे dwarf planet में. अभी planet जो देख रहे थे. Solar system and planet was the heading, right? Hydrogen, helium, all of them. Gases is hydrogen and helium. Yes. They lack. Yes. Abhi, rather you should say they have primordial atmosphere and they have primordial crust. Primordial means what? Initial. The first order. So they have primordial atmosphere, and even if there is crust, this is a primordial crust.
Like NASA wants to invent something there, then that.
It's not possible. You never know what would be the repercussions. You can have a flyby visits. You can have a flyby sites. Okay. Before I move on to, अच्छा पहले देख लो आप, फिर आप बोलेंगे कि दिखाया नहीं वीडियो. ठीक है. Let me show you the video first. Just because you wanted to see, you are very excited about it. This is what is your. अरे वेट, नहीं मेरे साथ होगी चीटिंग तो. ये है, वी हैव इट, डोंट वरी. ये रही. ठीक है. सो इट इज प्लेइंग. डोंट वरी. म्यूजिक सुननी है? छोटे बच्चे हो क्या?
Pretty much the same note. But
Subtitle me on.
the bell is here. Just how different is Uranus dance? Very. While Earth's axis is tilted about 23 degrees, Uranus tilts almost 98 degrees.
90
Uranus'
degrees.
axis is so tilted, it actually looks like the planet is rotating on its side. How did this all happen? One theory is that a body
One theory.
with Uranus a long time ago, radically throwing it. Until we know for sure, the planet's strange tilt remains one of the great mysteries in the
This is
depths
start
of
work.
the universe.
Okay.
But one of them is doing
समझ आ गया?
inside.
वहीं से स्टार्ट करते हैं, ठीक है? Yes.
Uranus' axis is so tilted, it actually looks like the planet is rotating on its side. How did this all happen?
हाँ हाँ. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Don't worry. तुमसे ही लिखवाऊंगी.
Collided with Uranus a long time ago, radically throwing out its rotation. Until we know for sure, the planet's strange tilt remains one of the great mysteries in the dance of the universe. And Uranus will keep doing the side shuffle like nobody's watching.
Done. ये टाइम पास हो रहा है. नहीं नहीं. No no no. You will make me come out of my comfort zone. No no no. Unless this helps me. Yes. So here we were at the important terms of the solar system. हो गया show खत्म. चलो. Now, what is the question that was asked in your mains examination? For prelims, we will see the questions. The question that was asked in your mains examination, please write. How does, write the question, how does Juno mission of NASA, how does Juno mission of NASA help to understand the origin and the evolution of Earth? How does the Juno mission of NASA helps to understand the origin and the evolution of the Earth? Okay. Helps to understand the origin and the evolution of the Earth. I guess this was 2017. 2017. Okay, this was the question that was asked in your examination. So now, if you have to attempt such question, if you have to attempt any mains question, you have to understand a mains question. Should I start off? All of you please focus here. What is the question? The question here is, अब सोचते कैसे, लिखते कैसे? There are two things. How do you think? How do you write? The question is, how does Juno mission of NASA help to understand the origin and evolution of Earth? There is no directive word. It is very simple question. Whenever you read the question, what all do you think? You think three things while just reading at the question. How many parts? The part is only one. Juno mission help in understanding the origin and evolution of Earth. One part. What happens is, in the time pressure, you miss out to the parts. So firstly, when you read the question, you read how many parts? One part. Second, what is the directive word? There is no directive word here. It's a simple question. What are directive words? Directive words can be discuss, examine, critically examine. These are the directive words. Don't miss out the directive words. I will not go into detail of directive words today. Why? Because it will take time for you to understand and eventually understand the demand. Aaj ke liye we'll just keep it simple, that how is Juno's mission helping us understand the origin and the evolution of the Earth? No directive word, simple. How? The question was about how. Then, when you read the question, how does Juno's mission helps us understand the origin and evolution of Earth? I'm repeating it because you tend to forget the demand of the question. ये कई बार होगा, they will ask you about your best friend, you will write about your home. They will ask you about essay on cow, you will write about on your best friend. This happens many times when you're writing for the first time. So the directive word was simple, how. The question was about Juno mission, and origin and evolution of the earth. Now, before you start writing, you have to brainstorm things. How do you brainstorm? Brainstorm is you try to think it in parts, like like a doctor, right? When you go to a doctor and you say that I am having this symptom, he asks you questions, he probes you question. Since when do you have? What did you do before? What are you feeling now? What might, and he's trying to establish the links in his brain, and then he's trying to give you the recommendations. So similarly, you have to think like in a scientific manner. When you brainstorm, you have to think, what is Juno mission? Think about it. What is Juno mission? What do we mean by origin and evolution of Earth? When I say origin and evolution of Earth, what does this even mean? What is NASA? What is Juno mission is clear. Okay, NASA ka mission hai, NASA's mission for understanding the Jupiter. And what is origin and evolution of Earth? What does that mean? It will help me understand the, okay, nebula hypothesis. Nebula hypothesis, okay, fine. Anything else? Origin and evolution of Earth. The composition of gases. Okay. Now you're splitting things. Now this is good. This is what you have to do. You have to split. What do we mean by origin and evolution of Earth? I will have to understand how did the crust evolved. Okay. Evolution and evolution, origin and evolution of Earth. So evolution of Earth ka matlab kya? I'm breaking Earth. How did crust evolve? How did atmosphere evolve? How did the atmosphere change? What is the effect of gravity? I'm splitting. I'm splitting the term origin and evolution of the Earth. It is not simple about कि Earth कैसे बना. Split it. Earth में atmosphere कैसे बना? How did the gas form? How did the gas change? What is the effect of gravity? How did the crust form? How was the Earth when the Earth was in the nebula stage? How was the Earth? Don't simply give me the term nebula hypothesis. Say, how was the Earth when the Earth was in the nebula stage? So if I'm exploring Jupiter, I'm trying to understand what? These aspects. I'm trying to understand these aspects and I'm trying to link it to understand what? The origin and the evolution of the Earth. Bataiye.
Scenario of Jupiter with the initial phase of Earth.
Yes, that's what you have to do. That is what you have to do. Yahi to karna hai. When it is saying, that is what it's saying. NASA's present mission. Compare that of the initial stage of the Earth. That's what you are doing. NASA's present mission. Compare that to that of the initial phase of the Earth. So what I'm doing is, when I'm trying to attempt mains question, and this will not happen in 7 minutes. Within 7 minutes, what you have to do? Within 7 minutes, you have to write. If I tell you today, if I give you a task, a mechanical task, take a sheet where UPSC sheet with 2 margins and give yourself 7 minutes and write whatever comes to your mind, whatever, without thinking. You will take 6 to 7 minutes to fill the sheets. What I'm trying to convey here. Things should be so on your tips, on your fingertips, on your, what do we say? Ki, wo hota na, yes, muscle memory. And what do we call that action where your brain is not used? The signal comes from the nerves, reflex actions. It should be like that. Whenever, even if you're in deep sleep, you get up and you can say things. That's what it happens. That is the time that is given to you. That is the time that is given to you in your mains. So, we have to practice this. We have to do this. What did you understand? I understand that whenever I see my question, I see few things. I see things that how many subparts? What is the directive word? Because directive word helps me to give adequate proportion to a point of view in my answer. That this is a statement that probably some of you will understand, many of you will not. Fine, it's okay. You have to understand for now ki directive word ko dekhna hai. You have to understand directive word and you have to brainstorm. Whenever you look at mains question, understand it. What is it? How can I split it? and how can I link it. Okay, and then every question has 3 parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. What is an introduction? I generally consider introduction as a trailer, the opening, that the story. I have not yet told my story, but I have given you sufficient hint to get attracted to read my story. Even by trailer, you have some idea of the movie. Kaun villain hoga, kaun hero hai, who is the villain, who is the hero, who is the heroine. That is what your introduction is, just the trailer of it. The body is your movie. The body is where you have to address the demand. And conclusion is a very happy ending. Way forward, conclusions, suggestions. That's your way forward. हाँ बताते हैं. Should I dictate the answer? That will help you. At least what do you do is I'll just dictate. You want to try and write and then get it? That will be best. That will be best thing. What you can do is try and write it. I think tomorrow you don't have a class, right? Monday you have my class only. So you get your answers. Monday? No. Monday to Thursday is geography. Friday and Saturday is polity, sense next week. From Monday to Thursday you have geography. What you do is you write it down. 150 words. 10 marker. I will tell you, koshish karo. You are asking me, ma'am, how do you cook? You cook, you show. I will tell you this is good, this is bad. You cook and show. By cooking continuously, you will learn that kitna namak dalu, kitna mirchi dalu. Okay? 2017, yes. You want me to establish the content? Okay. So here, at least understood ki kya karte hain, what do we, when we look at the question, what do? We do this. We try to see how many parts. We try to understand what is the, we try to break it. And then we try to write these content in the 3 subdivisions. So please write. Okay, fine. So how do you write this? So लिख ही लो. अब brainstorm करके लिखो. Just give the heading brainstorm. Give the heading brainstorm and write. Write the first point. कुछ सोचो कैसे. तो NASA Juno mission. NASA's Juno mission will help us understand what? Will help to understand. Will help to understand the heavier metals. The heavier metals present in the earth at the time of nebula. If I want to understand ki what were the heavier elements when earth was in nebula stage, I can understand by, this is metals ki jagah elements likh lein, heavier elements present in the earth at the time of nebula. I will just go through Jupiter. I will see that probably these are the heavier elements, and if these are the heavier elements, they are from the same child, they are from same parent, they are the child of the same parent. That means we also had some same heavier elements. Now where are those heavier elements today? In the interior of the earth. So understanding the core depends on understanding what are the heavier elements in the Jupiter. Samajh aaya? All of you clear with this link? I am understanding the origin and evolution of the earth. We can understand what were the gases present. What were the gases present? It will help us understand the gases present when the earth was in nebula stage. When the earth was in the nebula stage, what are the gases that were present? Hydrogen and helium we know because still they are in the nebula stage. So you understand this. You can also write third point. Likh le. Third point. Help us understand the behavior of the gases. The behavior of the gases. during the origin of the earth? The behavior of the gases. Help us understand the behavior of the gases. How do the gas behave? How do hydrogen behave? How do helium behave? The behavior of the gases during the origin of the earth. Fine. So what was, it helps us understand the initial crust. What was the initial crust? Primordial crust. Help us understand fourth point. Help us understand the initial crust. Help us understand, next point, helps us understand the influence of gravity. The influence of the gravity on the, help us understand the influence of the gravity on the nebular gases, dust and debris. The nebular gases, dust and debris. What are we doing? We are just splitting it. I am just splitting it and I am just writing it. So what was here, what was the tricky thing here was understanding the term, see, understanding the term origin and evolution of the earth. What is origin and evolution of earth? Break the term. Break it into constituent and subconstituents. All of you understand? We'll just take one simple question, not a UPSC question, to help you exercise and let this thing get ingrained in you. When you say the word that climate change, I think this is a simple topic where everybody reads about climate change, everybody knows about climate change. Climate change, or elaborate how climate change can lead to the disturbance, in Earth's atmosphere. Climate change can lead to disturbance in the Earth's atmosphere. It is all about knowing Jupiter. पढ़ते हैं, हाँ, yes. No. We want to study Jupiter. हाँ, उससे हम लिंक कर रहे हैं, indirectly लिंक कर रहे हैं. Yes, ठीक है. Yeah. See how climate change can lead to disturbance in the Earth's atmosphere. So when I say Earth's atmosphere, what I'm referring to? What do we mean by Earth's atmosphere? The composition of the gases. The composition of the gases. What do we mean by atmosphere? What do you mean by atmosphere? Composition of the gases. ये तो एक part. What else will happen in the atmosphere? Yes, you can talk about layers. The disturbance in the atmospheric layers. The disturbance in the atmospheric layers. I am drawing a very important point here. Listen to it very carefully. Disturbance in the atmospheric layers. Then what is atmosphere? एक होता है gases. किससे बना है? What is it made up of? Second is disturbance in the Earth's atmospheric layers. Like what are the layers? You have troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. Then what? Exosphere. Then what is atmosphere? What do you study in atmosphere? You study wind. You study wind. You study pressure. You study winds. You study pressure. You study the heat budget. If you have read NCERTs, you would know what is heat budget. So how is climate change affecting heat budget? It is increasing. What component? Is it increasing evaporation? Is it increasing precipitation? Is it leading to exchange of energy disturbances? What am I doing here? I am simply breaking two words. I am simply breaking climate change. And what is climate change? Climate change क्या होता है? Global warming. Climate change is extreme events. Any extreme events? Cyclone, cloudburst, thunderstorm, heat wave, right? So what are they affecting? They are affecting my atmosphere. I am splitting two words and I'm interlinking them. The most important things therefore becomes what? The most important things become two. The syllabus. The syllabus. Unless and until you know the syllabus, and not even syllabus. Syllabus is a very broadly given thing in your arsenal. You should know your index. You should know your index. So the moment you start linking your index, the moment you have the topic listing, then things becomes very easy for you. Iske andar, this is also very broad. Index and the subtopics. Then you know what is atmosphere. What do we study in atmosphere? We study gases, we study layering, we study heat budget, we study pressure, we study winds, we study jet streams, you study upper tropospheric winds, you study Rossby waves. You have to then take your answer to the next level. Ozone layer. So you are just trying to understand, you are trying to break it, scientifically look at things and try to establish the links between them. If you can do this exercise, this is where you will have an edge. If you can do this exercise, and many people, they actually write papers. They keep on writing papers. That's very last stage. What you have to now do is, abhi se you have to develop the skill of breaking the things and linking the things. We are very good at it. Okay? Breaking the things means subdividing into constituents. We are very good at it. We are very good at it. We are very हमारा detective mindset होता है. ठीक है? We just have to apply this here. Okay. So this was just to give you an idea about how do you actually approach a mains answer. And there was one question that was asked. What you can do is you can attempt that question. Can I move on? That was about the planets. So we were looking at what? We were at the terms. We were understanding the terms. We understood the term called as constellation. We understood the term solar system and the planets. Right here. Write one heading. Write one heading. Reasons. Reason for the difference. Reason for the difference between terrestrial planet and Jovian planet. Reason for the difference between the terrestrial planet and the Jovian planet. Okay? Why is there difference between the terrestrial planet and the Jovian planet? Why is terrestrial planet solid? Why is Jovian planet gaseous in nature? पहले लिखिए first point. First point. The terrestrial planet were formed in the vicinity of the sun. Were formed in the vicinity of the sun. Sun के पास है. The terrestrial planets, they were formed in the close vicinity of the sun. They were formed in the close vicinity of the sun. Therefore, write the first point. First point लिखिए उसमें. Therefore, first point. It was too warm. It was too warm. बहुत गर्म था. It was too warm for the gases to condense to. It was too warm for the gases like hydrogen and helium to condense, to solidify. To condense means to solidify. To condense to solid particles. To solid particles. The gases could not be condensed to solid particles. Second point. The second point of therefore के अंदर ही second point. First point was this. Second point of therefore के अंदर is your solar wind. Solar wind was intense. Nearer to sun. And therefore blew off. उड़ा दिया, blew off, primordial, PRI, it blew off, therefore blew off, उड़ा दिया, blew off primordial atmosphere. It blew off the primordial atmosphere like hydrogen and helium, Okay, the first point क्या था कि the gases could not solidify. The second one, the gases escaped because solar wind ने अपना काम किया. The third point, in therefore only third point, three reasons why are three reasons why are they different. First two reasons you have written. Write the third reason, that the terrestrial planets are smaller. Terrestrial planets are smaller. छोटे हैं, they are smaller. Therefore, have lower gravity. They have lower gravity. They are smaller, छोटे हैं size में. Therefore, have lower gravity. And therefore, could not hold the escaping gases. They could not hold the escaping gases. The gases could not solidify. They have lower gravity. The gases escaped, could not hold them, and solar wind further blew off the gases, and therefore they are terrestrial, they are solid, and therefore they are not gaseous planets. They are not like Jovian planets. समझ आया? Please write.
वो स्मॉल होते हैं, और जुपिटर में भी अगर लेटर वन चेंजेस आते हैं तो वो भी स्मॉल हो सकते हैं.
Yes. Cool contract होके small ही होगा. It is still in the nebula stage. It will cool, it will contract. ठीक है? Please write. This was what term? This was the second term. First was constellation. Then we did the solar system and the planets. Then we understood about Jovian planet. We understood about the terrestrial planet. We understood what is the difference between them and why is there difference between them. Write the third point. Write the next term. Next term लिखें. The next term is asteroid. The third term is asteroid. AESTEROID. Asteroid. AS है. AS, not AS. AS. Asteroid. Okay. What is asteroid? Please write. They are lumps of rocky. They are the lumps of rocky and metallic. They are the lumps of rocky and metallic compounds surrounded by dust and debris. Surrounded by dust and debris. Surrounded by dust and debris. This was the first point. Second, they orbit the sun. And they are found between Mars and Jupiter. They are found between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, so what is asteroid? Where are they found and what do they do? Because utna gravity nahi aaya. Jupiter is very big. So they did not allow all of them to combine and become one planet. The gravity of Jupiter prevented their own gravity to act on it. And therefore they will probably eventually, but abhi they have not become a planet. Why? Because Jupiter's gravity interfered. Jupiter's gravity was powerful enough not to make them one planet, and they have become scattered. No, that is not a reason. The point is, see, when you talk about, all of you, this is an important point. When I talk about nebula have dust, debris. The dust and the debris that is found between Mars and Jupiter, we are naming it asteroid. The dust and debris that can be found anywhere else is called as meteoroid. Okay, any dust and debris that is found anywhere in the space, you will call them as meteoroid. The dust debris that is found between Mars and Jupiter, specifically, we are calling it as asteroid. So it is not that the asteroid belt is found between these two. We are naming this belt as asteroid. समझ रहे हो? मार्स नहीं, मार्स और जुपिटर. हाँ, उसको मीटरॉइड्स बोलेंगे. हाँ, मीटरॉइड कहीं पे भी मिल सकता है. अर्थ मार्स, मार्स जुपिटर, नॉट अर्थ मार्स, वीनस मर्क्यूरी, किसी के बीच में भी आपको मिल सकता है. एनीवेयर इन द स्पेस. सैटर्न के रीजन. हाँ, नहीं, एस्ट्रॉइड नहीं बोलोगे. एस्ट्रॉइड आप उसी को बोलोगे जो कि मार्स और जुपिटर के बीच में मिल रहा है. It's like your parents named you so and so. Now you are asking me why am I named so? Because your parents named it. So why are we calling? So can I call this person also same? No, it's your name. Call him something else. तो हमने नाम दे दिया एस्ट्रॉइड, जो कि आपको मार्स और जुपिटर के बीच में मिल रहा है. Right? This is the naming that we have done. It's the naming that the scientist has done. Please write about the next term, meteoroid. Meteoroid. Oh. Rings there. Yes. There have been various scientists who have there. अच्छा, please एक काम करें, एस्ट्रॉइड की कुछ एग्जाम्पल लिख लें. Write the name of some of the asteroids. Some name of the asteroids. What are they? You have Ceres, C-E-R-E-S. Asteroid belts में we have Ceres, C-E-R-E-S, Ceres. They are the name of asteroids. Ceres. Write about. The next one is your, yes, Vesta, V-E-S-T-A, Vesta. You have Pallas, P-A-L-L-A-S, Pallas, Ceres, Vesta, Pallas. These are the name of some of the asteroid. Okay. Ceres is also considered as, you can write this, Ceres is also considered as a dwarf planet. Ceres is also considered as dwarf planet. So there are 3 asteroid names that I am giving it to you. Ceres, Pallas and Vesta. Full stop. Full stop. Ceres is also considered as a dwarf planet. ठीक है? Okay. Fine. Write the next term called as meteoroid. 3 terms will go together. We'll do 3 terms together. पहले हम meteoroid देख रहे हैं. M-E-T-E-O-R-O-I-D. meteoroid. एक होता है ये टर्म, एक होता है meteor, एक होता है meteorite, R-I-T-E. There are 3 terms. Each of them, they have their different meaning. Meteoroid is what? Write the first one, meteoroid. They are the lumps of rock, lumps of the rocks, comma, metal, comma, dust and debris that orbit the sun, Full stop. They can be found. Next point. They can be found. They can be found anywhere. They can be found anywhere in the solar system. Anywhere in the solar system. Okay. Next, this is your meteor. Meteor. The next term is meteor. When meteoroid, ये वाला, when meteoroid tries to enter the Earth's atmosphere, when meteoroid tries to enter the Earth's atmosphere, it burns. It burns. It burns due to friction. Due to friction and yes, it burns due to friction and high speed. Due to friction and high speed. ठीक है, उसको हम meteor बोलते हैं. The meteorite that is trying to enter the Earth's atmosphere, as the meteoroid is trying to enter the Earth's atmosphere, this is the Earth's atmosphere, this is a meteoroid. As it is coming at a very high speed, there is a friction that is offered by the atmosphere. This friction will try to burn this meteoroid, and we call this as a meteor. What is a meteorite? This one. Give the heading meteorite. What does this mean? Please write. When a meteoroid, ये वाला, when a meteoroid does not burn completely, in the atmosphere, and hits the Earth's surface, then it is called as meteorite. ये पूरी तरीके से बर्न नहीं हुआ और अर्थ के सरफेस पे लैंड कर दिया. It did not burn completely, it land on the Earth's surface. Yes.
जो है अगर वो आ जाए, मतलब meteoroid की जगह अगर asteroid है, तो will it be called same or will it be called?
Meteoroid is what? Meteoroid is the umbrella term. It's an umbrella term. Understand? What's your name? Kritika. You are a human. We all are human. Your parents named you Kritika. So, meteoroid is an umbrella term. The meteoroid that is specifically found in the asteroid belt, that is between the Mars and Jupiter, we call this as asteroid. Okay, समझ आ रहा है? So the same thing. Yes, the CSAT part. All asteroids are meteoroid, but all meteoroids are not asteroids. Yes.
Ma'am, but जब आप well, तो well क्या उसमें से एक asteroid अगर हमने क्या है, तो will it be called?
Yes, you can call meteoroid. आप उसको बोल सकते हो meteoroid. Meteoroid आ रहा है because सारे asteroid तो meteoroid है ही. All the asteroids are meteoroid, so you can call that as meteoroid. ठीक है? And when it is burning, you will call it as meteor. When it did not burn and come on the Earth's surface, you will call it as meteorite. What does this meteorite do? All of you. When the meteoroid hits the Earth's surface, what does it do? It can create a depression. The depressions. It is said that the oceanic depressions, the oceans are depressions, right? In the depressions, they have been formed because of the meteorites. The meteorites have created a depression that found the base of the oceans. You should know one lake. There is a, yes, correct. There is a meteoritic lake, meteoritic created lake, that is Lonar Lake. So please likhe Lonar Lake, L-O-N-A-R, Lonar Lake. Lonar Lake in Maharashtra. Lonar Lake in Maharashtra is a meteorite created lake. Is a meteorite created lake. Okay, this was your meteorite. Write about the next term, a comet. Comet, C-O-M-E-T, comet. Now what are comets? See, this is your sun. Okay, this is the sun. All of them, meteoroid, asteroid, they try to orbit the sun, and while they are orbiting the sun, they can also enter the other planets. They can enter the other planets. Now, when your nebula was being formed, when the nebula was being formed, there were gases, there were dust particles, there was debris, right? Nebula had this. Now, certain gases because of very low temperature, they solidified. Gases solidified. Understand? I'm saying gases have solidified. There are three states of matter, right? Solid, liquid and gas. What is a solid? It has a fixed dimension. It has a fixed dimension. That is a solid. What is a liquid? It is a flowing. It is flowing. What is the gas? It does not have a fixed dimension. There is no fixed dimension. So when the gases, you bring it to very, very cool temperature, they can solidify. They can assume a dimension. Example इसका क्या दे सकते हैं? If you know about methane hydrates, in deep ocean, methane can become solidified, and you can explore them. So methane hydrates is one example. So what are comets? Comets are basically the frozen gases. They are leftover frozen gases that have been formed during the formation of the solar system. And these frozen gases, they can also orbit the sun along with frozen gases. किसके साथ? They have frozen gases plus rocks plus metals plus other things. So between the rocks, between the metals, you can have gases trapped and they can solidify and then become a comet. Now when this comet tries to orbit, around the sun, now what happens is, this was the comet that was orbiting. As it is orbiting, it is getting heated because it is coming near to the sun. As it is getting heated, the gases will evaporate. The gases that evaporate gives the comet like a tail-like appearance, which is directed always away from the sun. So what is a comet? The comet is a frozen gas, leftover gas along with rock debris. So you can say every comet has a coma. A coma is a small atmosphere. What is atmosphere? Gases. So every comet has a coma, a small atmosphere. When the comet moves around the sun, there is evaporation of the gases. It gives a tail-like appearance and which is always directed away from the sun. समझ आया what is comet? Yes. Yes. कहीं पे भी गिर सकता है. जरूरी थोड़ी सन तक पहुंचेगा गिरेगा. It can fall anywhere. Yes. Yes. Correct. The establishing link that you have made, that meteor, can I say meteor can be from the leftover comet? Yes, that can be there. It can be there. There can be other things also. Like any dust can also be there without gas. What will you call? Meteorite. The comet gases has gone. You have a dust remaining. You can call it as a meteorite. Therefore, meteorite is what? An umbrella term. Yes.
टाइम पीरियड कांस्टेंट कहते हैं, हेलिस कमेंट कहते हैं 76 इयर्स है कांस्टेंट, मतलब अगर वो डाई कर रहे हैं तो इट शुड नॉट बी कांस्टेंट.
It is dying does not mean that you cannot have similar comets coming. It's not just one comet, no. Halley comet is one comet. But then if you have repeated comet in the same cycle, the one who detected would be called as, if you have the same cycle, I will first call that Halley, every time I will call it at Halley. That does not mean it is the same comet. The phenomena is getting repeated in the rear. And why is it getting repeated? We still want to explore. Right. Please write about comet. First point. Please write about comet. Comet are frozen leftovers. Comet are frozen leftovers from the formation of frozen leftovers from the formation of solar system. Okay. Then please, comet has, yes, second point, comet has frozen gases along with dust, rocks and metallic minerals. rocks, dust and the metallic minerals. Third point, as they orbit closer to sun, they heat up and spew up, nikalna, vomit, spew, they spew up, S-P-U-E-W, spew up the gases, they spew up the gases. Okay, you can write full stop. Every comet has a small atmosphere, called as coma, C-O-M-A, coma. Okay. The dust, the evaporating gases, your next point, that the evaporating gases develop into a tail formation, directed away from the sun, Okay. Write the next point. Comet originates from the Kuiper belt. Comet originates from the Kuiper belt. K-U-P-I-E-R, Kuiper belt. From the Kuiper belt. What is Kuiper belt? We'll see. The belt that is, Kuiper belt क्या होता है? Kuiper belt is this belt. You can see it here. Can you see? This is your planets, right? MVEM, we saw asteroid belt, then we saw JSUN. Then beyond Neptune you have a belt that is called as Kuiper belt. K-U-I-P-E-R. K-U-I-P-E-R. The spelling is K-U-I-P-E-R. Kuiper belt. Okay. So write about Kuiper belt. It is a zone of rocks. Beyond Neptune. The zone of the rocks, we call it as a Kuiper belt. Pluto is a part of next point. Pluto is a part of this belt. Pluto यहाँ पे मिलता है Neptune के beyond the Neptune. Is it fine? Now where does this, इसके beyond also you have a cloud. We have a cloud called as the Oort cloud. इसके beyond also you have a belt called as Oort cloud. What is Oort cloud? Yes, we consider this as the end of the solar system. So we have demarcated, this is a hypothetical zone. It's a hypothetical zone where we say that the solar system is ending. So लिख लो Oort cloud, O-O-R-T. Write about the Oort cloud, O-O-R-T. Oort cloud. ठीक है? Right? It is a hypothetical zone. Which marks the edge of the solar system. Okay. Done? Can I move on? Yes. What's about the shooting star? इसी को बोलते हैं. The shooting star is either a meteor or a comet. Any of them. You can say a shooting star. Shooting star is a meteor majorly and a comet because it has a tail. It has a glowing tail. Even the meteor when it comes, it can be called as shooting star. Is it fine? बताओ. बचपन का तो क्वेश्चन पूछा है, they've asked. अच्छा बचपन में विश मांगा था. Okay, that's how it is. ठीक है, fine. Moving on. We were looking at some of them. What is an asteroid? What is a comet? What is a meteor? What is a meteorite? ठीक है, तो asteroid क्या है, comet क्या है, meteor क्या है, meteorite क्या है, that we have seen. We have already seen this: meteorite, asteroid, comet. You know what is a meteor. You already know these terms. What was the question that was asked? This was the question that was asked in 2011. In 2011, please try to read the question. Nobody calls the answer. I will take a poll and then we will move forward. Nobody calls out the answer. Read out the question in your mind. I will read out the question. Acha. What is the difference between asteroid and comet? Is it fine? सबको दिख रहा है? The small rocky planetoids, while comets are formed from frozen gases held by rocky and metallic material. Asteroids are found between Jupiter and Mars, while comets are found between Venus and Mercury. Mostly. Comets have a glowing perceptible tail, while asteroids do not. All of you read the question? How many for A? How many for A? Nobody for A? How many for, okay, how many for A? Okay, we have. You are confused. A ki B. How many for B? How many for B? Okay, we have majority for B. How many for C? We have few for C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C. Huh? How many for D? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, nobody was for A, right? There was one for A. One for A. So if I look at this question, if I look at the question, the asteroids are small rocky planetoids, while the comets are frozen, formed of frozen gases held together by rocky and metallic minerals. This is correct. The asteroids are formed mostly between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars. Correct. While the comets are found mostly between Venus and Mercury. Incorrect. So statement becomes incorrect. So you eliminate this. Okay. 1, we saw that was correct, and the 3 becomes inconsequential because 1 is correct. Pistils, the comets, they show a perceptible glowing tail, while asteroids do not. This is also correct. Hence the answer is B. Planetoid. Planetoid is a small planet. It is a small planet. Rocky, basically dust and debris. It has not yet completely formed planets. But they are mostly found between. Are they mostly found between Venus and Mercury? No. They are majorly found. They originate from Kuiper belt. They can be found anywhere. They are mostly found between Venus and Mercury is wrong. Yes, बताइए. Yes. हाँ, वो shooting star. Basically your comet या meteor. Yes. Majorly meteor को कहते हैं because meteor दिखता है बहुत बार. Comet आपको बार बार दिखता नहीं है. It takes Kuiper belt से आ रहा है. Kuiper belt से आने में कितने टाइम लगे? Right. So generally meteor is also called as shooting star. Shooting star is your टूटता तारा. ठीक है? Is it fine? Did you all understand what is the answer? Anybody any confusion? Can I move on? Fine. So this was 2011. I have not yet dictated a term, but I think you should know it. So I'm moving forward. Yes, this is a question. Try to attempt this question. This was asked in 2012. You all know the term pole star? You all know the term pole star? क्या बोला? किससे हो जाता है? Okay. Oh, this way. Oh, thank you. ठीक है. Pole star. All of you know what is pole star? Pole star is a star that points towards the north direction. How many of you don't know pole star? I should ask like this. How many of you don't know pole star? I'll dictate. बताओ फिर क्यों बोल रहे हो? No बोलो जोर से. Otherwise your voice gets suppressed. Say it. See. What is a pole star? When I talk about the earth, Earth has what? Earth has a tilted axis. We have a tilted axis. This tilted axis is pointing towards a star. That is called as the pole star. This pole star always points towards, suppose you are lost. Okay, so tilted axis hai, the Earth's tilted axis always points towards a star called as pole star. Suppose you are lost in a desert or anywhere and you do not have any GPS, you do not have your mobile. If you can locate pole star, you will know that this is always the north direction, because this is north, right? This is south, this is west, this is east. So pole star will always point towards the north direction. How do you locate a pole star? You have to locate a constellation called as the Great Bear, the Saptarishi, the seven stars, which appears like a question mark. It is very easy to locate if you can find stars. You cannot find stars in Delhi, so you cannot locate this in Delhi. You will have to go to some place which has clear atmosphere. Then you can find the Saptarishi. If you join the first two dots of Saptarishi, they point towards the pole star. So if you are lost, find Saptarishi, find pole star, and always know pole star is pointing towards the north. This is your pole star. All of you clear? Now solve this question. This is what I call a CSAT question. Nobody calls the answer. I will have to stand there. A poor person stood alone in a desert on a dark night and wanted to reach his village, which was situated 5 kilometers east of the point where he was standing. He had no instruments to find the direction, but he located pole star. The most convenient way to reach his village is to walk in the direction of pole star, opposite to the direction of the pole star. Keep the pole star to the left, keep the pole star to the right. How many for A? How many for A? How many needs time to solve? देख लो एक मिनट. How many for A? How many for B? How many for C? How many for D? How many for D? Raise your hand. I get C and D as the answer always. Okay. How many for C and D? See now, consider this board to be north. Okay, consider this board to be north. This is south. This is west. This is east. I am standing at a point. Where this is my point. Okay, this is where I am. P1. My village is to east. This is my village. I have located a pole star north. Now consider this to be the pole star. Consider this to be the north direction. This to be the south direction. Mera village ka hai? To the east side. This is the west side. So where should I keep my pole star? Should I keep my pole star to my left and walk, or should I keep my pole star to the right and then walk? समझ आया? Where should I keep the pole star? I should keep my pole star to my left because I have to walk towards this. So this was north, this was south, this was west, this was east. The village is to the east. So I turn, I keep the pole star to my left and then I start walking. So where am I reaching? I am reaching my village. All of you clear what we have done? This is direction question and some application key. Where is the pole star and what does the pole star points? तो लिखो फिर pole star के बारे में. Please write about the pole star. Give the heading pole star. Give the heading pole star. Right. First point. Pole star is a star nearly aligned with the axis of, with the axis AXIS, with the axis of the earth, with the axis of the earth. It is aligned to the axis of the earth. Then write the earth's north pole star. The earth's north pole star is Polaris. Polaris. क्या नाम है? Polaris. It is called as Polaris and is aligned and is aligned with the north axis, and is aligned with the north axis. So here is aligned with the north axis. Third point, it helps in navigation. Okay. So what do? We prefer one star, a bright star. We call this is a Polaris. Its axis is aligned to the Earth's. The Earth's axis is aligned to the star. Do we have any such star in the South Pole? No. We do not have any such star in the South Pole because we need a bright star. So there was no bright star in the South Pole. But then approximate kiya jata hai one star. We just approximate one star which can be very close to this such a star. But we do not have such a South Pole star. We have a North Pole star, but we do not have a South Pole star. So please write about this, that no South star, there is no South Pole star. हाँ, इसी में लिख लो. Next point, the fourth point, there is no South Pole star. In the as there's no such bright star, aligned to the axis. Okay, that's it. Yes, what should I explain? Should I explain this question? Sure. What I'm saying is, see, you are in a village, you are at a place, and you want to find your village. You are at a place and you want to find your village. You are sitting here, you are standing here. Okay, you are standing here, and all you know that it is towards the east. जहां पे आप खड़े हो, आपको इतना पता है कि मेरा village east में. This is north, this is south, this is west, this is east. This is the cardinal location. North, south, west, east. समझ आया? All you know is on the east. You located a pole star. You are like this. Okay. So you have to keep it on the left. Only then you will move. Okay. Class 6 NCERT chapter 3 or 4 you have map, wherein you have theme. I'm lost. I just know that there is my village. Okay, I'm lost, I'm looking and I look at this. Okay, this is the North Star. अगर यहाँ पे होता, ठीक है, यहाँ पे अगर होता, मुझे इतना पता है यहाँ से मेरे ईस्ट में, this becomes the east. This is north, this is south. What will you be? West. What will this be? East. All you know, कहीं पे भी आप खड़े हो, आपको पता है it's in east. You know it is in east, but you don't know what is the direction. So you're looking at the direction. You got it? Should I repeat? Okay, perfect. So we were looking at, yes. नहीं, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. The axis always maintain its angle. And it always try to point out to that pole star. Right? So that is not making a difference. Fine. What were we looking? हाँ. Yes. तो अभी के लिए, for all the practice, when we say seasons, I am referring to 1 year. When you say that the tilt is changing its direction and angle, you are talking in terms of 96,000 years, or 44,000 years, or 19,000 years. We are talking of 1 year. You are talking about 19,000 years, 46,000 years. It is called as Milankovitch cycle. It does, but it is a very long term effect. ठीक है? तो scope, जो scope देख रहे हो वो अलग है. Fine. We are looking at the terms. Write about the next term. Write about planet. Write the planet and dwarf planet. Give the heading planet and dwarf planet. What is a planet and what is a dwarf planet? Okay, you know that Pluto was considered to be a planet. Then Pluto was declared to be a dwarf planet. So there are difference in a planet and a dwarf planet. What is a planet? Right? There are three criteria. Okay, planet. There are three criteria for. There are three criteria for a body to be declared as. There are three criteria for a body to be declared as planet. First, it orbits a star. It orbits a star in a well-established path. It orbits a star in a well-established path. Second, they are massive enough. They are massive enough to be roughly spherical. They are big enough, they are massive enough to become spherical body. They are massive enough to be roughly spherical under its gravitational weight. Under its gravitational weight. Gravity is acting. As the gravity is acting, it is massive. One second. I am repeating. It is massive enough. It is massive enough to be roughly spherical under its gravitational weight. Under its gravitational force, under its gravitational weight. What does that mean? It means that a planet is big, has good enough of mass, and it can fall under its own gravity and it can become a spherical body. Okay? The asteroids, they do not have as much mass to become a spherical body. Therefore, they cannot become a planet. So, first criteria is it should orbit around the star. It should be massive enough that if it is big enough, it will have gravity. As it has gravity, what will happen? It will collapse. As it will collapse, it will assume a spherical shape. The third point, please write. They must have cleared their neighborhood. Cleared their neighborhood. They must have cleared. साफ कर दिया. साफ कर दिया. Cleared their neighborhood. यानी neighborhood में बहुत ज्यादा dust नहीं है. They must have cleared their neighborhood. This must be clear. So there are three criteria. Massive enough to become spherical. They must have cleared their neighborhood, and the first one is it should orbit around the sun. Okay. Right? Pluto did not meet the third criteria. Pluto did not meet the third criteria. Pluto did not meet the third criteria. And therefore was declared as dwarf planet. And therefore was declared as dwarf planet. Okay. Pluto did not meet the third criteria. Next point likhe. Some examples of dwarf planet. कुछ examples लिखे. एक तो है Pluto. One is Pluto. The second one is Ceres. C-E-R-E-S. Ceres. We saw Ceres, right? Ceres is a dwarf planet. It has not cleared its neighborhood. It is not cleared the neighborhood. You have one more as Make. M-A-K-E. Make. Make is also a dwarf planet. Sorry, Ceres is a dwarf planet. Pluto is a dwarf planet. Dwarf planet दो criteria meet करता है. First two criteria meet करता है. Third criteria meet नहीं करता है. What is the difference between asteroid and dwarf planet? The dwarf planet of the three criteria. We have written three criteria. First is massive enough to become a spherical body. it must, the second one was, it must orbit the sun. The third one, it should have cleared the neighborhood. Ceres has not cleared the neighborhood, but Ceres meets the first two criteria. Pluto has not cleared the neighborhood, but meets the first two criteria. So when you meet the first two criteria, we call it as a dwarf planet. If you meet the third criteria, we will call it as a planet. Example of dwarf planet, Pluto. An example of dwarf planet, Ceres. An example of dwarf planet, Make. One more example of dwarf planet is Huame, Haumeau. MEA, not A, MEA. And then you have Eris. This is also an example of the dwarf planet. Ceres, Eris, Make, Huame and Pluto. 5 आपके dwarf planet हैं. ये Ceres meteoroid क्या है? Meteoroid umbrella term है. Ceres asteroid भी है, ऐसा कुछ. क्या Ceres asteroid है? हाँ. लिखो लाइन, एक और लाइन लिखो. Except for Ceres, comma, which is found in the asteroid belt, comma, all the other dwarf planets are found in Kuiper belt, KURPER. बाकी सारे dwarf planet क्या होते हैं? Kuiper belt में मिलते हैं. ठीक है, write a star mark and write it there only. A dwarf planet meets the first two criterias. A dwarf planet meets the first two criterias given under the definition of planet. समझ आया? Solar system. Okay. Now I will not move on to the next topic, but ऑर्बिटल मूवमेंट एग्जैक्ट नहीं था, पर इसका ये तो मतलब नहीं है कि वो ऑर्बिट नहीं कर रहा है. ऑर्बिट तो कर रहा है ना, मूवमेंट कैसा भी हो. हाँ, प्लूटो का थर्ड क्राइटेरिया मीट नहीं हुआ था. पाथ तो था उसका थर्ड. आई हैव टू सी दैट देन. What I remember is Pluto का 2 definition तो meet हुआ है, third definition has not been met. I'll have to see that. ठीक है? Okay. Now I am not touching on a new topic, but अगर बिना question, बिना topic समझे भी, just by suppose you are writing an examination, suppose you are writing prelims examination, तो उतने seriousness से question देखो. ठीक है? आप prelims का question देखो, ये आपको अगर question है 2022 का. First tell me how many of you have looked this question before? First question, how many of you have looked this question before and know the answer? If you have looked at this question and know the answer, you do not call out the answer. ठीक है, please do not call out the answer. Rest, those who have not looked at this question before, question देखो and just think of that. How will you attempt this question? How will you attempt this question in case you have to attempt this question? The question is, if a major storm reaches the earth, a major solar flare is reaching the earth, which of the following are the possible effects on the earth? What can happen if the major solar storms reaches the earth? First, GPS and navigation system could fail. The tsunamis could occur at the equatorial regions. The power grid could be damaged. Intense auroras could affect the earth. What are auroras? They are bright lights seen on the pole because atmosphere and solar winds interact. Forest fire could take over much of the planet. The orbits of the satellites could be disturbed. Shortwave, radio wave communication of the aircraft flying over polar regions could be interrupted. These are the possible consequences if a solar flare occurs. If a solar flare occurs. Now, think about it and try to, of these seven, tell me one point that you think is the point that is sarasar galat. How many feel that it is the point 2 that is wrong? It is tsunami that cannot occur. How many feel that? And why are you feeling this? Why are you feeling this? What is tsunami? Basically, tsunami is a gigantic wave that occurs on the ocean. Why does tsunami occur? The reason for tsunami is generally the disturbance on the earth crust. The disturbance on the earth crust. It could be because of earthquake. It could be because of volcanism. It could be because of landslide. That is why you have massive displacement of the water and then you have tsunami. Tsunami's relation with the sun has not been established. It is majorly the tectonic reasons. So if I eliminate 2, बाकी सब navigation की बात कर रहा है, rest they are talking about navigation, rest they are talking about power grid, rest it is talking about satellite, again navigation, again communication. So if I eliminate 2, do I have the answer in front of me? We have the answer in front of me. So, girls and boys of the class, many times you do not know what is the correct choice, but at least know that this is an incorrect choice and do not fall for it. So, ये गलत है, ये नहीं चाहिए. I don't want this in my life. You will be safe. That's it from my side for today. Thank you so much. Yes, in case you have any doubts, I'm there.